Alright, so if you're a producer who's been struggling to grow a type B channel and wants to just finally find the method as far as like how to actually do it and grow it and make a sustainable type B channel that brings sales month after month, or if you're someone who's trying to get into this and become a successful type B producer, build something for yourself online. That way you can feed yourself off your music, right? If you're someone that's trying to get into this video will also be for you as well. So I'm gonna keep this very raw, right? I'm probably not gonna edit this at all. But to start this video, obviously, I always like to run through my credentials. So I have made a lot of money with Type Beats, right? This is one of my Type Beat channels, and these are the sales that one of my Type Beat channels brought me. My biggest one, to be fair. It got 30 million views, and in my first year, it made me 17.5 off of completely just ad revenue alone, and then it made me almost 32 grand in 2023, the following year, off of just ad revenue again. And then 2024 went down a little bit but still was better than the first year, so it's a win regardless, right? um and then obviously the beat sales that it brought me was really good, and that's just on BeatStars. Obviously I made a lot of sales just through manual DMs, because when you grow a Type B channel you get a lot of traffic to your business, right? And you just get a lot of attention, and a lot of people just like to build a more personal connection with you, and you make sales like that. So these are just monthly cash app statements here, just from manual DM sales, right? 1600 just off in the DMs, like me selling beats in the DMs, right? And that's what my Type B channels have brought me. And some of the videos get a lot of money, right? They make a lot of sales, and they also make a lot of money from the ad revenue, which is why this business model is like really good, because you make a lot of money. Like, you get paid to promote a product, right? You get paid to sell your beats. YouTube pays me, they pay me a lot of money, right? 32 grand in 1 year to sell beats, right? What other business is like that? Usually you have to pay for paid ads, and you have to, kind of lose a lot of money. But here it's like over 100% profit, right? Because you're getting paid to make money, right? So that's why Type Beats is really the best for producers. But you guys already know that if you're watching this. But yeah, so I just thought I'd run through kind of my credentials a little bit. I've grown Type Beat channels in every single niche you can think of, and I've made over $250,000 doing this, and I'm just 18 years old. Um, but yeah, so this video is just how to make your first 10K posting beats on YouTube, and all you have to do is just copy what I say. So to start, let's just dive in, right? Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, obviously, please have at least decent beats. I'm not saying you have to be the best, but you have to have at least decent quality, right? Because our videos are music, right? So you have to have good quality. Otherwise, none of what I'm going to say ever is going to work. And I'm just gonna be completely 100% honest with you, right? I'm not gonna say, oh, you can just do this and that, and buy my course, and then it will just work for you. No, I'm gonna tell you, like, you need to have good beats, and you need to just follow the steps I'm gonna give you for free, right? That's all you have to do. Just have good beats, follow the steps I'm gonna give you for free in this video, and you'll be good. Now that we got that out of the way, right, you have hopefully have at least decent beats, and if you don't, just click off the video and just improve and watch guys like Kavi. There's a couple other good YouTubers I like. LLB is another one. Uh, and they just have good tutorials, right? J Cactus is another one for just as far as your quality goes. You can watch them. I don't really make beat making tutorials. I just teach the marketing side of it. So yeah, anyway, now, what you're going to want to do is find a niche to target. I know a lot of people say this, just find a niche. Well, let me show you how to actually do that. So, what you're going to want to do is go to vidIQ. It's just VIDIQ, and it's super easy to just sign in. Like, you don't need to pay for their paid plan. They do have a paid plan, but you don't need to pay for it. The free version is all you need. And I do recommend actually getting their extension too. It's on their website. It's a Chrome extension, and it just kind of helps. Like, when you search up a keyword, it will kind of show you the score of what a keyword has. It will kind of tell you if it's good or not. And so that's why the Chrome extension is good, but you can also just use their website. So what I'm going to do is just go to search a keyword, and let's just say we want to do big scar type B, because that's kind of what I blew up in. Like, on my biggest type B channel I have here, This one was in Big Scar. That was the niche I chose, and obviously the views were very, very good for this niche, and I got about 30 million views, and that's how I made the majority of my money, was literally just from this channel. And yeah, so what's interesting though is this isn't the biggest niche there is. I just found a little pocket that no one was going for, and I did what I could with it. So as you can see, only 71,000 people are searching this keyword every month. Granted, he did pass away a couple years ago, right? So, people just won't be searching for him as much. But I was posting on him when he was still alive. Um, and yeah, so rest in peace, Big Scar. But the competition is medium. Now, when I first went for this keyword, the competition said low, or actually said very low, because literally not many people were doing it. And the search volume was about like 150,000. Like, and at its peak, it maybe touched 300,000, but it was never really that crazy. Because if we look at Lil Baby type beat, right? Lil Baby's one of the biggest rappers in the world. His search is very, very high, right? It's 1.1 million searches every month for this keyword. And obviously the competition is medium, right? But I'd say it's pretty high. And I have also blown up in Lil Baby as well, right? This was one of my Lil Baby channels, and this is actually one of my most sold beats right here. It made me $1,600 just on BeatStars alone, and yeah, so that beat performed very well for me. But then we have keywords like Drake, or some of the bigger keywords, right? 1.7 million people are searching for this keyword every single month. Now, this might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's very straightforward. You just use their keyword tool and you search up the keyword that you want to go for. So let's say you want to make drill type beats, right? You're from the UK and you want to make UK drill type beats. If you search up UK drill type beat, it will show you the score as well. So 232,000 people are searching for it. And the competition's medium. But I'm not going to really talk too much about this, right? It's just a good tool. It's free, and it will just kind of show you where the traffic is at. So that's why it's really good. Um, yeah, but so that's what you want to do, is just find a niche to target, and then you just kind of want to analyze your competition. So let's say, you want to go for um Drake type beat, right? There you go. So here, as you can see, the competition's pretty dense. Like, the people at the top have tens of thousands of subscribers, right? This guy almost has 100,000, and he's killing it, obviously, right? Again, all these people at the top, they have a lot of subscribers, so you're competing against some of the biggest guys in the space if you go for Drake type beat, right? So the odds of you actually making it in Drake type beat is very low compared to if you were to go for a keyword that not many people are posting on, but a lot of people are searching for. You'll have a much bigger advantage with that. So that's why I always recommend to kind of go for a lower competition, high search volume keyword. But it also depends, right? You might just be crazy hard at Drake type beats and you might blow it regardless. But I wouldn't bank on that too much. So once you find a niche to target, you're gonna want to get your thumbnails good. So let's talk a little bit about like how to actually make your thumbnails good for the niche you're targeting. And that's the main thing. It's like, just because a thumbnail style might work for one keyword or one specific niche doesn't mean it just works for every niche. So you want to get good at making thumbnails that are good for your niche. So the best way to explain this is like, okay, let's say you're making drill type beats, right? Or for example, look at the Drake keyword right here. Just look at the type of thumbnails that it is. It's got the black bars and it's got like a picture of Drake. So that's what everyone's doing on that niche. If you look up UK drill type beat, right? The thumbnails are gonna be a lot different. They're full thumbnails, full pictures, right? There's no black bars, and they have text on the screen usually, right? And so that's kind of like the niche. That's kind of what works well for this niche. So you want to get good at making thumbnails for this niche, right? So how you want to do that is by using a tool called Canva. But before we get into that, let me actually show you how to find these pictures. So what you're going to want to do is use Pinterest. And Pinterest is really good because you get to find any type of picture that you want. So let's say, like, I might literally look up UK drill, for example, and you can find literally so many pictures just like this right here. So for example, if I was to do a UK drill type beat and I wanted a good thumbnail, like, I'd maybe go for a picture like this, but I'd probably want it to be a bit more full. So this looks like a pretty solid picture right here. Um, yeah, I think I'd probably go for something like this or something like this. So let me just download this picture. And what we're gonna do is go into Canva. So again, like this picture is probably pretty good as well. Or this one specifically as well, right? You're gonna want to use pictures like this. So we can download a couple, and I'm gonna go into canva.com. So we're inside Canva. This is my personal account here. So if you see some other designs, that's why. But essentially, it's free to sign up, which is why Canva's the best. I've used Canva. This isn't sponsored, by the way, but I've used Canva literally my whole time using doing type beats. So I would use Canva. It's free, right? Instead of having to go pay for Photoshop or something, right? I'm gonna save you some money and time. So you're gonna go and use the YouTube thumbnail preset, right? So it already has the right dimensions. And if you can't find that right here, you can just go to the top and search. You're gonna select the Canva templates option right here, and then you're gonna go to YouTube thumbnail if you can't find it there. And we're gonna select create a blank YouTube thumbnail. So once we're inside here, it's pretty straightforward, right? We have a blank canvas, and all we're gonna do is just click the back of the canvas. And for most of you, you might be doing the black bars aesthetic. So you're just gonna want to have the solid color be black. And usually what you would do, right? A lot of you guys would probably just go with something like this. Maybe make the picture a little bit skinnier, drag it out like this, and just have it centered. And then you guys would just call it a day with this, right? This is a pretty standard type B thumbnail. And that's kind of how you make one of those. But if we're doing drill, right, we want something a bit different. We would go with, let's just use this picture, and let's do something like this. Drag it out, make it bigger, right? Something like this. And this picture is kind of low quality, to be honest, but you know, it's just an example. But so you'd want it full width like this. And actually, I kind of prefer the other way. I would rather do this image just because the colors are better. And this is something that's important with thumbnails is you want bright colors. So this picture in particular, like, would do well on YouTube with type beats because the colors, right? Everything else is kind of black, and then there's bright neon beams that kind of catches the eye, right? Catches people's attention. So this would be a really winning thumbnail in the drill niche, or just in general, right? And so what we're gonna do is go to text and add a heading, and we're just gonna say this beat's called, I don't know, Hero, right? Then we're gonna go to the font, Canva Sans, and let's choose, let's choose the Horizon font. So let's do something like that, and then let's drag it out, something like that, right? Maybe we can have it a little bit less big. But yeah, this is like a pretty standard thumbnail, right? And then we can go into edit and go to adjust right here, and we can make the contrast a little bit higher. Maybe bring the brightness down a little bit so that the text actually stands out a bit better. And now that's a good winning thumbnail right there, right? So we just did this in a few minutes for completely free. And so that's some thumbnail sauce for you guys right there. And yeah, moving on now, you're going to need high quality visuals, right? You have your thumbnail, that's part of the visuals, right? I just showed you how to do that. You have good beats, you know what niche you're targeting, excuse me. Now you need to have good quality visuals, right? Your visualizer. So you could either just go into After Effects and maybe you have some knowledge on that and make something yourself, right? Or Premiere Pro or whatever you use. You could also use FL Studio, the Z Game editor, right? If you have knowledge on that, or you could use my visualizer templates. I have them. It's surgetemplates.com or just a link in the description. And I actually have a drill preset right here, funny enough. So you can get your visuals right here, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. So the next thing that you're going to need is titles, right? You need to get your titles right, your SEO. So that's very important. So for example, this is my biggest beat ever that I've ever dropped. I dropped this beat when I was 16 years old and it still gets crazy views to this day. That's just the power of type beats, right? But the main thing is the title. Look how simple the title is, right? All I did is put free in some brackets and I put the keyword I was targeting with type beat. Main thing you want in there is type beat, obviously. And then I just have a dash and then my actual beat name, right? That's all I did for the title, and that got me 2.3 million views and is still ranking to this day. So a lot of times producers will try and tell you, oh, you need to add all these different keywords, you need to kind of go crazy with it, and they'll just try to sell you on some bullshit, if I'm being honest. So I'm just gonna tell you straight up, you don't need anything crazy. You just need the right keyword, right? You need to do your research on the keywords, which we already talked about, right? vidIQ. And then you just target the right keywords, right? So free big scar type beat. And very simple. It looks good. It looks clean, right? The thumbnail matches the aesthetic of the beat. It matches the theme of the beat. And I'll go into a little bit more about thumbnail formats in another video, right? Because that's going to take me a while. It'll take me an extra 20, 30 minutes. But essentially, just use the right thumbnails for the right keyword, right? If you're doing Pooh Shiesty type beat, you're not gonna use a picture of some dandelions in a meadow, right? You're not gonna use a picture of rain or some shit. Like, you just make it make sense, Yeah, and you're not gonna use a picture of Ariana Grande on a Lil Baby type beat, right? So that you'd think that's common sense, but you should see some of the shit I see. Some producers will hit my DM and say, review my channel. I look at it and it's like, yo, I mean, it's like you're not even trying, right? But anyway, no shade on anyone, but essentially now the next thing is obviously descriptions. So with descriptions, I keep it very, very bare, okay? I make it easy for people to buy, right? Because essentially what you're doing is creating a funnel, a sales funnel, right? You're putting out organic content to get organic traffic and to lead them into, these artists into buying your beats, right? You're putting out ads for your beats. That's what Type Beats is. Um, and Type Beats is just an easy way to get in front of people who are already searching for something, for exactly what you're selling. That's what Type Beats is. People look at it as like, oh, it's not creative. You're robbing your creativity. No, it's just a way to market yourself. Okay. If you don't want to get in front of people who want to buy your beats, then feel free not to. But if you do, then just keep following what I'm saying. Now, purchase this beat untagged and then the link. That's all you need for your purchase link, right? In fact, you can literally just copy exactly what I have here. I don't care. You can copy everything. And then I just have some basics, right? Like allowing them to connect with me, my Instagram, my beat store, my email, right? The three essentials, because you don't think, oh, I shouldn't even have my Instagram in there because I want them to only click this link. You'd be surprised how many sales I got just from my Instagram, right? I got crazy sales. Um, and yeah, so and then of course just your regular beat store, and then I copy my title again just for SEO purposes, right? You can just copy your title at the end, and that's a pretty decent description. Um, there are other ways you can go about it, but this is what I did in this specific case, and it obviously I'm showing it. It's not like it didn't work, right? I'm showing it on my biggest beat, right? This video got over 2 million views, and yeah, so then my tags, you can literally copy this format and just replace Big Scar with whatever artist you're going for. So, like I'm literally giving away everything right now. This is what people would charge money for. But I just have my name, and then I have this Control, by the way, was my producer name, or at least for this channel. So if you guys are confused, but yeah, and then I had Big Scar type beat, free Big Scar type beat, Big Scar type beat 2023, and then I use that same format, right? Going from type beat, free type beat, type beat 2023. I did the same format, commented, put it in again. So type beat, free type beat 2023. And then I did my name type beat, because a lot of people actually do start searching for your name with type beat just to find the beat that they, maybe clicked on and they're like, damn, that one guy had a crazy hard beat. I want to find it. You'd be surprised how much like these little things lead to more views. So then I just had beats, type beats, just the essential keywords you want to have in your tags. And I try to fill it up, but I get lazy. But you can add more keywords. The video tags itself doesn't really matter too much. What mainly matters is your thumbnail, your description, your title, right? And of course the beat itself. And yeah, so that's descriptions and tags, right? Next thing is to follow trends. So on my channel, I won't lie, like I wasn't just doing big scar type beat. I did mainly big scar, but every now and then I would throw in something else and it worked, right? So I followed the trend of the rack baby niche, right? I was actually one of the first people, or really the person who popularized the rack baby type beat niche. Um, and so this V actually went viral, and it actually went viral on Instagram Reels too, because a homeless dude rapped on the beat. Some of you guys might have seen that, but that actually drove a lot of attention to this beat and helped it blow up. Probably half the views literally came from people searching it, because the video on Instagram Reels, like the video probably got 100 million views across all people that reposted it, and on all platforms. So yeah, that video went viral and helped that beat blow up. So that's a rare exception, but Big Yavo too, right? I realized he was kind of similar to my niche, and he was kind of coming up. So I was like, okay, let's just do a Big Yavo type beat. Literally, this is my first Big Yavo type beat I ever dropped, and it got 279,000 views. This was my first Rack Baby beat I ever dropped, and it got 221,000 views because I studied the niche and I followed the trend, right? And of course, my channel already had over 40,000 subscribers at this time. And so it's a lot easier to kind of go after other niches when you're already that big. Um, Again though, Nardo Wick x Lil Baby, right? They dropped a song. He was on Lil Baby's recent album, and they're kind of friends too. It kind of makes sense, right? So at the time, like Nardo Wick was really popping. I haven't heard much about him lately, but this was a perfect beat for it, and the thumbnail matched the aesthetic, right? The Atlanta aesthetic, right? So again, Vonoff 1700 as well. I followed the trend. He was a new artist in 2024. I hopped on the trend early, and I've got a ton of views out of this keyword, right? Just off what these three beats here, you can already see like 600,000 views. Um, and so I suggest you follow the trends because that's what's gonna keep you relevant, and also it like especially when you're starting a new channel, look for who's popping. Like if I was starting a new channel, I'd probably go for keywords like Vonoff 1700, Rack Baby, or just keywords that are trending, right? Even Sexy Red, for example, right? Sexy Red all of a sudden got a bunch of views, whether you like her or not, or like her music or not. Um, I know a dude, Tylian, who hopped on her regardless of whether people liked her or not, and he got a lot of views, right? 825,000 views and 96,000, right? Every video he drops on Sexy Red got a lot of views. And he's a big channel, right? And he just hops on trends. Whether people like her or not, or whether he likes the music or not, he knows to like say fuck all that. Let me get rid of my ego and let me go for the trends so I can make more money, right? And this is what you need to do. All right, drop your ego. And so yeah, so follow trends, and then the last thing is stop trying to be different. It doesn't work. Now, let me explain myself, because you might be like, I'm a producer, I want to be different. Yes, you should. But when it comes to tight beats, like what you do for placements and outside of the tight beat game, that's completely different from what you do on tight beats. Tight beats, I'm sorry, you can't be that creative. Okay, it doesn't reward creativity unless you're going for certain niches. There are certain exceptions where it does. Like I know Kanye West type beats. Yeah, you got to be super creative with those niches. Travis Scott, right? But if you're going for like trap or in different niches like that, obviously R&B too, you got to be creative. But I'm saying like you can't be that different. You need to still, if you're going for R&B, for example, and you're doing Gen A Ico type beats, don't throw in like some super complex beat that no one can write to, right? You want to use what the formula that has worked for other people. You want to copy the people at the top of your niche. Literally study everything they do with their drums, their arrangement, everything. I promise you, and then try to outdo them with quality. Get better sounds than them. Use better realistic guitars than them, for example, right? Just be harder than them. And that's how you can be different in the right way, right? I'm not saying go make the craziest shit with not looking at any formulas. No, you do have to kind of see what works. And so that's what I mean by stop trying to be different. Look at what's working and then improve on that, right? Copy and improve. That's the best thing I can say. I just gave you guys a ton of free game. So what I want you guys to do is take all this information that I've given you and apply it to your Type B channel. And I have a feeling you're going to get really good results. Now, say after a few months, like you're still struggling, if you want, you can apply it for me to coach you down below. Basically, it will take you to this page and you can click here to apply with me, and it will just give you a application, and it takes literally like less than 5 minutes. And yeah, but with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.